Hello, how are you doing? Welcome to my platform. I'm so excited to be with you once again to share some value, to share some vital tips. Welcome to my platform. I'm Ogo Hilary. I'm a social media expert and online business coach. In case you're watching the live, you can drop a comment. In case you're watching the replay, you can drop a comment. The title of my topic for today is Attracting Highly Qualified Prospects Using Simple Schoolyard Psychology. Attracting highly qualified prospects using simple schoolyard psychology. Thank you so much for tuning in. Do you want to know the real law of attraction? Do you want to know the real law of attraction? Because it's not about thinking yourself rich or harnessing quantum pseudo-frequency. It's not all about harnessing quantum pseudo-frequency. No, it's way more simple than that. In fact, it's basic schoolyard psychology. And once you put in practice this fundamental economic principle, you will have qualified prospects beating down your door. I mean, you have people wanting to hear all about your business. So watch on, and you will learn all about how to instantly set yourself apart from the competition. So you're not fighting tooth and nail for people's attention in today's busy marketplace. That's why it's very important marketers root themselves in value. That is why it's very important that marketers root themselves in value. Because regardless of all the online network marketing strategies available, at the end of the day, attracting prospects is all about the value that you have to offer. Now, value can be a little tricky to define. Value can be a little tricky to define. Coach Sheila, thanks for tuning in. I'm so excited to see you. Value can be a little tricky to define. Price is one representation of value. Price is one representation of value. It's a measure of how much the market deems people are willing to pay for something. Value is a bit more abstract than price alone. Value is a bit more abstract than price alone. It's best described as the perceived benefit a person expects to receive from acquiring a particular good service. No need to check out on economic theory. I don't want to draw you with economic theory. I don't want to put you to sleep. Though, as you will soon see, it's all, in fact, basically all boils down to something you implicitly knew as a child. It boils down to something you implicitly knew as a child, but often forget as an adult. And speaking of boiling, let me break down by the concept of value. Let's break down by the concept of value. I'm going to illustrate the concept of value by a story. From the most unlikely of sources. I will demonstrate the concept of value by a story from the unlikely of sources. Excuse me. The potato. I know it's so strange. The potato is everybody's favorite tuber. The potato is everybody's favorite tuber. Now you might be wondering, what can you possibly learn about building your business from an ugly, mishaving vegetable that's damn near incredible until it's properly washed, cooked, and seasoned? An awful lot. Yes. Actually, believe it or not, the history of the potato is a shining example of how the perception of value can take something seemingly ordinary and taking something seemingly ordinary and make it downright irresistible in the eyes of the public. The story of the potato is an example of how the perception of value can take something that is seemingly ordinary and make it downright irresistible in the eyes of the public. See, back in 18th century, back in 18th century Europe, people saw this potato as something sinister. Farmers regarded it as foreign and totally alien, that's forbidden. And many associated this favorite vegetable with disease and filth. In fact, growing sport was outlawed in France out of fear of leprosy until 1772. When folks of the day looked at potatoes, they didn't see French fries. When folks of the day looked at potatoes, they didn't see French fries or something served beside your steak, slathered in butter and sour cream. They saw an abomination. Here's a way kicker, though this is negative sentiment. And this negative sentiment was widely shared, despite the fact that many Europeans were suffering from rampant famine. They were literally starving, while they essentially had a miracle right in front of their faces. Potatoes could completely solve their nutritional woes, but the anti-potato sentiment was universal across Europe until an enterprising Frenchman, until the arrival of an enterprising Frenchman named Mr. Antio Augustin Parmentier was captured by the Persians and served as a prisoner of war during the 7 Years' War of 1756 to 1763. During his captivity, he was fed a diet of pigs. He was fed a diet of pig's feed, which was exclusively comprised of, you guess it, potato. Parmentier no doubt took notice of its superior nutritional value. Parmentier took notice of its superior nutritional value while he was in prison. He took notice of the supernatural nutritional value and ability to sustain health, because following his return to Paris at the conclusion of the war, he began a campaign to elevate the potato as an old school superfood. While the grain prices were skyrocketing, so he realized the time potato as a hearty new diet staple. He knew that the time was right to position the potato as a hearty new dietary staple for the French, replacing the likes of their beloved bread, which the public could no longer afford. To overcome the overwhelming negative perception of potatoes, Parmentier conducted a series of publicity stunts to pique the public's curiosity and make potatoes seen as gold. First, in a classic display of reverse psychology, he surrounded his personal potato garden with armed guards to discourage peasants from stealing, while instructing them to accept bribes and neglect their duties during the evening. He hosted lavish dinner parties, serving potatoes only dishes. He hosted lavish parties, serving potatoes only dishes to nobles. In fact, Benjamin Franklin was even a notable guest at one such feast. Finally, they even convinced the king and queen to wear potato blossom on their lappets. As a result of Parmentier viral marketing campaign, public interest grew and perception shifted within a few years. The potato became a staple of European cuisine, and the continent food supply doubled in short order. The rest is history. You can understand the value of conception. This is called schoolyard psychology of attraction. It's called schoolyard psychology of attraction. So what possible online network marketing strategy relates back to the potato, you might ask? Parmentier's potato pitch and acoustic antics illustrate a dynamic so simple. In fact, every child in possession of a converted new toy implicitly understand. That's how exclusivity increases desire. That is how exclusivity increases desire. Everyone wants what they can't readily have. Everyone wants what they can't readily have. Parmentier knew that he couldn't sway public opinion about potatoes by labeling them hog food. So instead, he positioned them as something so precious to the public. They were what guided and reserved for the nobility. These same rules apply to the world of modern marketing too. Scarcity has value. Scarcity has value. It's basic supply and demand. Think about the house of people that line up for intentionally limited run Apple products or Air Jordan. Think about the house of people that line up for intentionally limited run Apple products or Air Jordan. That's the sort of effect you want to have on your prospect. Think about it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much. See you for the part 2.